Hello, it's Andrew Larson's Film Review Channel, back once again with reviews of 3 great new movies that I've seen. 65 million years ago, a visitor crash landed on Earth, Scream 6, and Inside. The first one I'll be reviewing, it's 65 million years ago, a visitor crash landed on Earth. That's the name of the movie, that's the official name of the movie. It's a horrible name for a movie, it's a horrible movie. Spoiler-free review. This movie looks like it's about 20 years old. It's about an ancient alien played by Adam Driver who looks just like a human being, and he talks English, and he's a pilot of a spaceship. The spaceship ends up crashing because of the asteroids that killed the dinosaurs. The spaceship crash lands on Earth. Adam Driver and the only other survivor of the spaceship have to battle all these dinosaurs, so it's just Adam Driver and like a pubescent girl. The dinosaurs barely appear. When they do appear, the special effects are horrendous. The textures on the dinosaurs are so poorly rendered that it looks like something out of a self-shaded video game. Truly terrible movie. I don't think anyone's going to go see this movie. I don't think anyone has seen this movie. I think the only people going to the theaters to see this movie are young women who are fans of Adam Driver. And I think they might actually be enjoying this movie, and this movie might be a good choice for them because it's about Adam Driver interacting with a young girl, and they can put themselves in the shoes of the young girl and be like, I'm alone on a dangerous dinosaur planet with Adam Driver, and they might have a good time with that. Spoiler review. So yeah, the young girl, she can't speak English, so her and Adam Driver can't like actually communicate. So there's like a Fifth Element kind of level to this movie where it's like she's like Lilu. All the emotion of the relationship between Adam Driver and the young girl is very forced. Nothing in this movie is developed well. Made me think of Jurassic Park 3 because it's really short. There's a relatively underwhelming amount of dinosaur action. And the dinosaurs in this movie look like they're from the era that Jurassic Park 3 is from. It looks like that's the technology that was available to the people who made this movie. And it also reminded me of a Turok. Is this a Turok movie? Is this an adaptation of the video game franchise Turok? Because it feels like a early 2000s adaptation of Turok onto the big screen in the worst way possible. Alright, the next movie I'll be reviewing is Scream 6. And this is another terrible movie. Spoiler-free review. I'm a person who loves the original Scream. Up until last fall, I had only ever seen Scream, and I'd never seen any of the sequels. And I am nostalgic for a time when I hadn't seen any of the Scream sequels, because they're all way worse than the first one. But before this one, I thought they were all fine. But this one sucks. Scream I didn't see until I was in my late teens. I put off watching it as a kid because I was like, I don't need to see this mainstream classic horror movie. But I finally got around to watching it in my late teens. Thought it was fantastic, absolutely fantastic movie. One of my favorite movies to this day. I love it more and more every time. Got to see Scream in theaters a couple of years ago. And I got to see Scream 2 in theaters last fall. That's what finally got me into watching the sequels. Watched Scream 2 in the theaters, anniversary showing. And then I went home and watched the rest of the sequels, including 2022 Scream, which Scream 6 here is a direct sequel to. Scream 2 is not a bad movie. Scream 3 is kind of a bad movie. Scream 4 is not a bad movie. And then the Scream reboot. I liked that movie when I watched it. But now watching this, I'm not so sure what I liked about that movie. Or what I liked about any of the Scream sequels. This movie really made me just look down on the Scream franchise as a whole. Get rid of all the sequels. This movie's advertising itself as Scream in the City. Scream goes to New York City. It's in 3D. If you're expecting it to take advantage of those things at all, you're going to be disappointed because it does not. This movie is a remake of Scream 2, just the same way as 2022 Scream was a remake of the original Scream. And it feels like it's set in the same small college town that Scream 2 was set in. The only legacy characters it has are Courtney Cox as Gale Weathers, and Hayden Penitentiary, I don't know how to pronounce her name, as some girl named Kirby, who is apparently in Scream 4, which I saw Scream 4. I think I completely forgot about this character of Kirby and replaced it in my mind with this new short-haired lesbian character in Scream 2022 and this one. I don't know these characters. I don't want to know these characters. They can't stick in my mind. Cheap, exploitative, nostalgia bait. And Scream 2022, it was the nostalgia bait, but it also worked. Like most of the other Scream sequels, it worked as a slasher movie. It was a fun slasher movie. It was a silly slasher movie. It had laughs and it had scares, and the kills were lively. The gore was on point. And none of that really carries over to this Scream 6. I feel Scream 6 is just missing so much blood and energy. Spoiler review: Scream 2 was the original Scream kids going to college. This is the kids from Scream 2022 going to college. The Jenna Ortega character was on screen for several minutes before I remembered that it was the same girl from Scream 2022. This is a girl power movie. Strong female leads. That's the idea. They don't feel strong. I'm not rooting for them. I don't know them. I don't like looking at them. Hayden Penitentiary, or however you pronounce her name. Penitentiary? Like a jail? I hated her in this movie. The twist is just Scream 2 again, where it's the family of the killer from the last movie trying to get revenge. There's so much nostalgia. There's like... Oh. And the last movie I'll be reviewing is Inside, starring Willem Dafoe. Spoiler-free review. This movie's a whole lot better than the last two movies, but it's still not the greatest. It's like an art film. The opening credits say it was like commissioned by like the federal government art commission. This is just like modern art. Doesn't exceed the boundaries. You could put this up on a wall. No one would think twice. It's not going to like draw anyone in. It's not going to scare anybody off. It's a one-man show, all centered around a kind of showy, Castaway-esque performance by Willem Dafoe. Very physical, very demanding. He looks physically distressed. It works in that sense, I guess. If you're a huge Willem Dafoe fan, I could see you enjoying this movie more. He's an art thief. He gets stuck in a penthouse, a high-security penthouse. He gets stuck there for a long period of time, and he's desperately trying to escape. And it's kind of like a Waiting for Goddard, existential kind of thing. But it does have great production values, awesome cinematography. Spoiler review. So yeah, it's Willem Dafoe. He's stuck in this penthouse. It's ambiguous whether or not the person that he's attempting to steal from knows he's there and is watching him and torturing him. The thermostat is going up and down, so it's like over 100 degrees, below 50 degrees. He's freezing or he's overheating. All the water's off. He can't turn the stove on. He can't cook food. He starts out exceptionally skinny. It is Willem Dafoe. It's kind of hard to look at it and see him getting skinnier. He starts out so skinny. But you do see the time that he's spending there take a toll on him physically. In other ways, his skin gets all blotchy and red. And he just does a good job emoting. You can feel the pain in his performance. The penthouse has a refrigerator, and when you leave the door open for 20 seconds, it plays the Macarena as like a deterrent. And this is like a recurring gag. The Macarena plays, and sometimes it like plays at times when like Willem Dafoe is at his lowest. And so there's like this cheeky juxtaposition where it's like Willem Dafoe giving this like real try hard emotional performance, and then the Macarena playing, and you're supposed to be like, haha, how ironic. Besides the cringy moments, the showy moments, nothing ever takes you out of the picture or Willem Dafoe's struggle, the struggle of his character. It all works pretty well. The message, like I said, is not mind-blowing whatsoever. It's about as deep as the average piece of modern art.